Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We would really like to welcome you to our Agency Tribe. And we have a repeat guest presenter, a serial repeat guest today, Stephanie Campanella. She's the master of re-pivoting and evolution in a business, and is really kicking butt over there in Sydney, and not just Sydney, but all over the world with her programs. She, like many of us, has started in the web development space, focusing on web development and specifically tradies. She's carved that out as a niche. But then I think she really got to understand the power of what a niche had to offer, because she was kicking butt with that particular niche, and could see that other people were really struggling in their businesses. So she's created a number of different programs. One is an online course, which is how to nail your niche, and the other one is her coaching one-on-one 6-month niche, finding your niche program. So obviously part of all of that is, when you're coaching customers, is to teach them how to generate leads once you know who you're generating those leads for. And so without any further ado, we would love Stephanie to tell us about lead generation on Instagram. And over to you.
Cool, bananas. Awesome. All right. So if you can hear me and see my blue slides with my fancy glasses, then give us a thumbs up in the chat. First things first, let's make sure that we know what we're going to do here today, yeah? Just make sure the chat's actually open. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. All right, sweet. So here's the 3 cool things we're going to learn today. So, you've come to the Zoom recording today if you want to start networking on social media. So if you're sick of moving around town and shaking hands and throwing business cards inside people's face and hoping that they buy from you, networking is actually a lot of fun on social media, and you can do it in your pajamas at home while making a hot curry. So that's even more delightful. Point 2 here is that I really want to help you share some valid content with your community, and I want to show you some no's and some yeses. The third piece here is how to generate sales from social media. I literally have sales trickling into my inbox inside. Siri is right now watching me and recording me on my iPhone. That's brilliant. Thanks, Siri. I'll just turn this off before she just records everything else. So yeah, I've literally got people coming into my inbox inside Instagram and asking me about my programs. How do I get started? What do I do next? And it's just incredible that social media can do all my networking for me, and I can just chill and not have to get suited up and head into the city like I used to do. So the traffic tool of choice is Instagram. And Ursh made a really good point this morning in our chat as to why I love to use Instagram as opposed to Facebook, or why I've made Instagram our #1 tool, especially in that tradie niche. You would think that no one is on there, or if you're in a physiotherapy niche or a dentist niche or an injectables niche, whatever you might be in, you might think that, well, no one's really in there to do business. But that is incorrect. Instagram is a place where your clients are hibernating. So I love Instagram because you can directly talk to people, you can directly build rapport, and I'll go through a few of those things later as well. So I'm not sure how many people actually have an Instagram account. Or if you've got one and it was kind of personal and you've been posting photos of flowers you see on your long walks on the beach or something. But it can be a much better tool than that. So the first thing that I want to sort of put out there is that word of mouth really sucks. Word of mouth referrals, you cannot control it like a tap. So you can't just go, right, today is word of mouth day and I am going to sit here and hope to God that some sales come into my business because word of mouth is the only lead generation tool I have in my business. Word of mouth absolutely sucks. You have no control over what's coming into the business. You have no, real funnel. You're just telling other people that this is what you do, and you hope that they will send you someone that is of quality, and then you finally get that lead, and you're just like, I have to take it no matter what the budget is because I don't have any leads. Just want to make a point that Instagram, using Instagram as a sales and lead generation tool actually strips this entire word of mouth piece away. If you continue to use Instagram in the manner that I'm going to show you, then you can start generating leads daily and weekly. So first things first, let's set up your lemon stand. Yeah. So let's go through all the bits and pieces that you're going to need in order to set up your Instagram, because they are hibernating in here. Okay. So first things first is Instagram is pretty fail proof. I'm sure there's like 7-year-olds on Instagram, but hey, they are much more tech savvy than us 30 plus people. So jump on your phone or on the desktop and basically sign up to your Instagram. You can choose to sign up with your Facebook page and connect the two and all this kind of stuff. I always like to keep everything separate myself so that everything has its own username and login, because obviously my team would get in there and use these tools. So I don't want everything just connected to one piece. So that's just a housekeeping rule that we do. So yeah, jump into Instagram. I don't know, Google it, Instagram.com, and sign up, and they'll give you a few little pieces. The key things that they're going to give you will sort of, like your handle and your name and everything. These are over here. So first things first is you're going to need a profile pic. So I've got my Steph Campanella, like my personal branding, account here, but I've got like 4 because I'm an Instagram. There's no other nice way of saying it. I'm really into Instagram. I've got a cooking channel.
A junkie. I think junkie is the word.
A junkie is a good. That's a good G-rated word. Yeah, Instagram junkie. I've got a channel for my dog, Sting the pug. I've got a channel for my cooking, Stefania's Cucina. I've got a channel for my business profile. I've got a channel for my tradies profile, and I have a secret channel just for my my mum and dad and my brother and sister and my lover. So I have a lot of Instagram channels. So first thing is the profile pic here. So you're going to want to put a profile pic together that is synonymous with the rest of your brand. So this one here is very similar to the one that's on like my Instagram or my Facebook profile or anything of that manner. So basically, again, like it's branding. So you want to make sure that your logo or your brand image is synonymous with everything that you do, and make sure that this one matches as well. So it's just as important as your LinkedIn profile. You don't want to have it at some sleazy bar or something. You want to have a nice sort of portrait of yourself there. The next thing I'm sort of pointing out here is your bio. So it's really important to really fill out your bio and tell your story, because this is like the first 3 seconds that someone's going to see and basically judge you. Yeah. So I've put like, a love heart, a dancing salsa lady, a workout, pumping iron arm, and a surfer, because that, that kind of is me in a nutshell. I'm, got a lot of love to give. I love Mexican and dancing and salsa. I do work out a lot, and I like to surf in the summer. I've also got 2 hashtags here that I like to use, and this is stuff that I would hope that my audience follows me around with. So WWSD is what would Steph do, and some really cool friends coined that phrase for me, so I decided to make it a hashtag. And then just hashtag nail it, because I'm always talking about nailing it and, hammer and nail and all this kind of stuff. So a really good bio. There's a lady boss in there too. But it's that key piece, you know. Humble graphic designer turned global lady boss. I help agency owners niche so they can thrive, not just survive. And again, that's a very similar message to what's on, you know, my other, you know, Facebooks and LinkedIn's and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. You can, on the third one across there, I've got the highlights. So these are really fun. Like, you know, again, if someone was coming to your profile for the very first time, they would see your profile pic, your bio, they'd see your highlights here, and then they'd be able to kind of have a quick snapshot of what you get up to or the feel of who you are or who your brand is. So I've got like impact. So that's like when anyone says anything nice on the internet, I share it in a Instagram story, and then I add it to my highlights here. I'm always eating, so I've got a lot of food posts. So I've got food journey. I've got the podcast, so I've got different slides and stills from the podcast and podcast activities. And then I've got the morning pump, which is basically the music that gets me up in the morning and gets me excited to head to work and, you know, to strive for confidence. That last slide there, I've also circled the IGTV. Everyone's Instagram looks a little different because they are so customizable, and I'll go through a few things in a sec as well. I've started playing around with Instagram TV, so my Instagram TV icon is now there. So I've mentioned a few things here. I've mentioned like IG stories and IGTV and highlights and all this crap, right? So Instagram stories is what shows up the top when someone is actually, you know, just hanging out in Instagram. These little tiles down the bottom here are more like your Instagram posts. And then that third big one here is your Instagram or your IG TV. So IGTV is like the newest tool that Instagram has sort of released to the public here. And with anything on any platform, if there's a new feature, you want to use it, because obviously Instagram are rolling out new features and they want to see people using it and seeing if it's going to work or if it's going to blow. So if you see that a new feature has been unlocked, then you should definitely get in there and use it, because then Instagram will see that you're using that new feature, and then it'll highlight you and show you up in the latest posts there. Alrighty. Hope all that information went down well. Okay, so here's a few more bios. So just, you know, more ways again to sort of mention yourself. And even like here you can see, so the Steph Campanella is a public figure. It's, you know, it's got some options there compared to tradies here. But like looking at this Oz Web Awards, you can get like a message button and a get tickets button and an email button. So there's a few different settings that you can do when you're setting up your account. But you can see these guys have got highlights in their account as well. And they've got some, you know, again, they've used some emojis. So they're really trying to get you to focus in on what they're showing you. Showcasing outstanding work by Australian web designers and developers. Contact info. Yeah. I mean, their email shouldn't be there. That should just be down the bottom. But again, like not a bad bio for them. So here's an even better one. So I've pulled up Mexico restaurant, an awesome Mexican restaurant in the heart of Sydney. I highly suggest you go there, because for cocktails. So there's up to 3 different calls to action buttons that you can apply to your Instagram. And again, this is just going to be in your settings. So, oh yeah, sure. Barry, I just saw your message. Tradies are like tradesmen. So it's your electricians, your plumbers, your builders, your carpenters, all that kind of stuff. Alrighty. When you set up your Instagram account, you sign up and you see, you go into your phone, because it's much better in your phone than it is in your desktop version. There's a lot more options and there's much better control. It's really a mobile app, not a desktop app. It's like you can probably spend a lot of time in Facebook on the desktop, but Instagram is much better on the mobile phone. So going through all your settings, you can then select what kind of calls to actions do you want. So these guys have got the reserve function, because obviously they want you to come to their Instagram and they want you to reserve a table or make a booking. They've also got that contact and just the message. there. But yeah, you can have like a call option if you want to call. I don't have a call option personally because I don't want people just calling me out of the blue, because that's not part of my sales process. My sales process is quite strict. I want them to go to a certain page. I want them to fill in a certain amount of information. They then get access to my calendar, and then they get to call me. So call is not a big thing for myself. You can get a text. You can get email, directions. If you're, again, a bar, that would be a good spot to get directions so that someone can see you, reserve, get tickets. That's what the web agency had there before. Book and even start an order. So I guess if you're McDonald's, you can get people to start an order. Another point here inside the mobile app is this little hamburger menu up the top. So again, this sort of shows you all your insights. So SEMrush, a very good analytics tool, was connecting Instagram data into the tool, and it was allowing you to sort of look at all your reports and, you know, be able to actually create some awesome reports right there and then. They actually shut all that down. Gosh, I feel like it was a year ago now. So it's very hard to get Instagram data inside of any bespoke tool. The best place to go is actually inside Instagram. And I've just pulled up my tradies account here for last week. It's sort of showing you, like, you know, what are my best days. So Fridays and Sundays are probably the most active days. You know, profile visits are up, I don't know, 850 people. Website clicks a little bit down, emails a bit down, get directions a bit down. But it just sort of shows you like the interaction and what's going on. The next tab there shows you content and audience. So again, it really helps you see like what's the most popular post and how are they interacting and comments and all this kind of stuff. What I've learned from going to Social Media Marketing World every year is that all the hottest Instagram people, they all do this manually. So they don't have any other tool that they're using to connect analytics. They're actually getting someone to go into the app and every single Monday recording the data and plotting it on a spreadsheet, and then taking that data and seeing what next steps they want to do there. So it's not as good as it used to be, but hey, it just takes time and it's worth it. Okay, so when it comes to actually posting content, we want to get focused on serving our community and not selling to them. So nothing good happens from the back seat. And if you're simply posting, sales messages, your community is just going to fail to connect with you. Yeah. So you want to be descriptive. You want to be entertaining. You want to provide education. You want to be informative, and you want to provide value. Number one, how long or short should a post be? Use both. A nice long post really stops the user in their tracks and allows, it really makes them focus on the post. So obviously more time on the post, more engagement. That's obviously a more engaging post, says Instagram's bots, and then they show that post more often. You can do short paragraphs, you can do long ones. One of my team members' jobs is actually to take out my EDMs that I send every week, take that text, and then turn that into an Instagram post a few weeks later. So that way the email list still gets the prime content, and then it comes on to our Instagram secondary. But they're going to be super long posts. And then my audience is going to see that we've got some short, snappy, hey, this is what this should be, like an SEO trick maybe. And then they're going to see a really long form private message that's been handwritten by me that's then going to go out as well. So it's sort of like, bits of pieces and different pieces of content, yeah? Lots of photos, lots of videos. I'm usually pretty good at this, and I probably still am, but I'm my worst critic. You've just got to get really active inside the app. You should be taking lots of photos and telling people about your journey and what's going on a regular. Like, you don't want to just post in the morning and load up your Instagram account. You kind of want to post throughout the day, because people are going to connect at all different times of the day. And it's, you know, what's going to be there is, you know, when you might have been active a few hours ago. So if you only post at 9 a.m. every Monday, you know, come 9 o'clock in the afternoon, your post might be gone if you're using those Instagram story pieces. Always include a call to action in the post. Now, I'm going to show you a few things here. So these are some no's, but they're quite funny. So I've got here someone in this first slide, hustling skills. So I was playing Cards of Humanity with some girlfriends, and I posted a photo of it, and I was like, you know, killing it, nailing it. I absolutely smashed that card game, and then went to bed. And then this person's like, oh, cool Insta story you have there. Cheers, great day. Keep on hustling. I'm like, well, I'm not really hustling. Like, I'm playing a card game with some friends. Anyway, I write back to everybody. I'm like, I won. And then they're like, straight on to the cell. Like, cheers for resources to up your hustle game and skills, visit hustleskills.com/enter. It's like, I never said I was hustling. And now this person's like DMing me, like, so I can hustle harder. It's like, oh man, go away. Here's a really fun way to talk to people. Like, can you imagine doing this in a networking meeting? Future Lekus has just walked into my face. Hello, I'm graphics designer. I make graphics work done. I'm like, cool. And he's like, cartoon picture, logo, album cover, cartoon music video, and many more. Which one do you want to make? And I'm like, I don't need any work. You see, I have an entire team in the office doing work for me, but thank you. Again, it's like, would you act like that if you were walking into someone in the room? I would hope not, but that is a strategy. It just didn't work for me. Here's one from a real estate agent. You know, we've got the hills sold hashtag. Louis Carr is the brand, and then we've got the hills sold, 31 sales in 28 days. Woohoo! If you're on the market or considering selling, please contact us to discover the Louis Carr difference. And then 94 blah blah in their phone. It's like they are just selling. Like, what education have I taken away from that post? Like, great, they've made lots of sales in the last 21 days, but what's in it for me? So all those basic marketing tactics and skills all apply here. It's not just about throwing up photos and getting lots of interaction or, you know, just sort of, you know, getting it done, so to speak. Like, there's a much better way for a real estate agent to be posting on Instagram so that you can actually educate people that may be looking for a sales agent. You know, they could have actually gone, here's the 3 ways that we made 31 sales, and this is how you could do it in your home. And it could just be the fact that they dressed the home better, they put a pie in the oven, or they, you know, had some scented candles. That would be so much more educational and so much more better for the community, rather than just going, hey, we made lots of sales. Here's another really good one. This person is still chatting to me. Hello, how are you doing today? Full stop. I'm amazing. Good. I am a logo designer with 5-year experience. What type? You want any type of logo? And I was like, wow, 5 years. I then went on to tell him that I wanted a turtle. And he's like, what's the name? And I'm like, I don't know. Turtle Blues. Go for it. So I have a little bit of fun with these people that DM me. God bless them. Okay, so in any of these pieces, like, see how in this Louis Carr, they've like put their phone number and their URL there. It's absolutely useless. You want to provide your link. So let's go back here. So in my slide on the left here, there's actually a link to a recurring webinar. So it's a sales tool. So you want to put your best link in the bio so that when you're posting images inside, like say your grid here, you cannot put a link inside a still photo. The only place to put a link is up in your bio. Now, don't make it just like your homepage. Yeah, don't make it just tradiesgo.com.au. That tradies one, it goes to /free, which shows 3 things that they can download or 3 calls to action. So it's a much more specific place that I'm sending them. So I'm on this first tile, I'm sending them to a webinar, straight to a sales, sales tool. The second piece is, again, another sales tool, straight to a download or a call to action to jump into the products. Over on the right there, they're actually sending people to go and, judge on the awards there. Megico, massive missed opportunity here. That link could actually be like a menu or like a feel for the restaurant, so that, you're sort of savoring and you want to actually go to the restaurant a little bit more. So a bit of a waste opportunity there. So you never ever want to post, unlike Facebook, because Facebook, you can post images at any moment, like a status post, let's say, and then you just have like a little link there. It doesn't work on Instagram because the link just doesn't click anywhere. So you've got to tell everyone to click the link in the bio to take more action. So you just got to make sure that anything that you're saying in the grid or in your story is then, relevant to the link in the bio. All right, so less is more, yeah? So let's focus on keeping Instagram really beautiful and, not sort of rushed and tacky graphics. So, having really simple photos and sharing yourself is really important to connect with your community. So again, these are slides from my personal branding, but even on my tradies branding, it's the same sort of stuff. I share a lot of like, hey, we just launched this website, or hey, we just, here's an SEO tactic. But then there's also photos of myself out and about, being adventurous and stuff, because that's who I am. And people buy from you before they buy anything from your company. And like that's whole thing about no competition and all this sort of stuff. So if you can just be yourself, you're going to be able to make stronger connections and sell to the right people. Yeah. I've like captured these are all taken on my iPhone, except for that one in the middle that's actually been doctored up by one of my staff. But telling people that, hey, the podcast is coming soon or coming back, don't miss it. I've got a long story here. This third sort of slide, that's me in Mexico, on the edge of the world there, and then me having some amazing oysters in Japan. So I was kind of like flashback, and I don't know where my I Love Tequila t-shirt went, but it's lost now. So these are some screenshots of some Instagram stories and different types of ways that you could use it. So here on the first slide here is just my upstate. Again, it's real estate. I'm a big real estate property fan. So my upstate, Del Mar Parade, DY. So they're selling a site in DY on the beaches, and they've got it's a sponsored post. So they've actually paid to be in Instagram by sponsoring, and it's super cheap. Like Instagram ads are so cheap. Right now I've got a video of me showing my download, and it's a 30-second video, and it's costing like 18 cents for people to interact with it. So it's super cheap to get into ads on Facebook and Instagram. These guys have got that learn more sort of swipe up motion there. So you would learn more, you'd swipe up, and then you'd see the whole ad and where the location is, Wordsworth and rah-rah. This second one in the middle here, Cara Lambert, she's an awesome person that I know from Adelaide. She was showing some books. I love this book. And then the next slide here was, have you read it? Yes or no? So some really good engagement there to sort of tie in, and you can start to get to know your audience a bit better. It's really funny, like when you start out, it's like you're talking to no one because you think, oh my God, like nobody is there. So these tools are really good to sort of connect with your audience and see that people are actually watching and people are actually connecting with you. And you just got to keep turning up and keep being yourself and keep sharing what you do so that people can actually interact with you. It's, again, like Instagram is exactly the same as networking in an empty room. you walk into the room, and if you just stand in the corner, no one's going to do anything with you. But if you actually walk around having conversations, like, hey, I just read this book, The 4-Hour Work Week, have you read it? This is just a way of basically doing it digitally. The third slide there is actually a tradesman, is a builder, that is a client of ours. And he's actually recording doing some demolition on site. And this stuff is really cool because it shows exactly what he's up to. And if someone was watching him that was a client, she'd be like, oh, he does actually do work, or this is how, tidy or not tidy they are. If you were looking to work with him, then of course you'd get a better idea as to how he works. The far one on the right is me. I made cookies the other night, and then I was, there's all these like little images you can throw in. So I added in a little cookie monster, and I was being a very cookie monster myself, eating way too many cookies with my cup of tea. All right, so here's a piece of action that I want you guys to take. So as soon as you've sort of got like your bio all set up, and you've got your, like, where are you going to send your people? Don't send them to the homepage. You want to send them to a page where they can actually interact uniquely for you. Like, you can even set up a specific page just for Instagram so that you can check back into analytics and you can see if that page is, it's got a high bounce rate, or people are leaving it, or they're actually staying on it, and then where are they going? So really nice, great profile pic. Pick a really good name, something that's relevant to you. So I just picked Stephanie_Campanella because that's pretty relevant to me. Tell your story in your bio. Use some personality there with the icons and some hashtags that you just want to make your own. And if you want to put all the, the address and all that sort of stuff in, but start, fill out your bio and all that kind of stuff and set all that up. Start posting some photos, and then start connecting with people, but not in this manner. So you actually want to, I guess the sales happens all from DMing or direct messaging people. So every single day we spend at least an hour just connecting with other like-minded businesses that are in our niche. So we want to connect and follow and, set, heart, then double tap to love someone's image. But we do that for a solid hour every single day, connecting with partners. So other big partners that have got a lot of our customers, customers themselves, one-on-one, just connecting. A lot of our customers share their work that they're doing. So we're like, oh my God, those herringbone floor, the herringbone flooring that you did looks incredible. Or, wow, I love a black bath. Or, wow, I love chrome taps. They look amazing. It's about building. There's a little, I've got a little, active little thing here. Rather than being like, hey, do you want website? $400. Like, you're an unwanted pest there. You want to go from being a welcomed guest, and to do that, you have to build trust. And trust is rapport with comfort. So you want to spend some good time in the DMs getting to talk to people and thanking them for following you if they're following you, or if they've left a comment. You want to comment back and say, something human and not robotic. There are heaps of bots on Instagram. So whenever someone just says awesome or great post, it's pretty obvious those short little sharp, vague posts are just bots. So you want to make sure, if you're actually doing the work, that you post back to people using nice long sentences. Did you say you spend an hour responding to DMs every day? At least, yes. So we spend a solid hour just getting into Instagram and posting and all this kind of stuff. And then, yes, we will go back and message people. We'll look through everyone that's followed us that day, and then thank them for following us. I went on a sales, on a sales attack, and I connected with every single person. This was a little while ago. Connect with every single person, personally message them, then ask them How are they going with lead generation? Then they said they were going crap. And then I said, great, how about you watch this? This is going to give you 3 big takeaways. I turned that video content into an evergreen webinar, which is now a sales tool as well. But I tested it manually there, like just telling everyone, hey, you know, why don't you go watch this video? Seeing the views go up on YouTube and that kind of stuff. So yeah, questions. Shall we jump into questions now? Ursh and Barry.
Absolutely. There's a few there.
What content?
Sorry?
There's so much to learn in Instagram, and I could faff on about it. But you've just got to get in there, yeah, and you've got to realize that it is an awesome tool, and you only ever want to use one tool to go all in on. You don't want to spend like 3 days in LinkedIn and 2 days in Facebook and 3 days in Instagram, because, you know, as soon as you start digging in one, you're sort of pulling out and you're going to the next platform, and then you're basically starting your mining all over again. So you want to pick one tool and go all in on it. And we love Instagram because it provides the highest yield, I guess. Like, it actually provides customers, the perfect customers. They know exactly what we do. They just walk in, hand us their credit card and tell us, I want you to work with us because you get us the most. So that is my experience.
That is awesome. Before we just get into the questions, I think one of the amazing things about your presentation was that you had so much gold about general principles of social media marketing that are transferable to a whole lot of other, whichever your tool of choice or platform of choice, I should say, is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also the specifics of how Insta works is really really interesting.
And this is the big reason why I choose Instagram over Facebook. In Instagram, I can directly talk to exactly who I want. Like, if I want to talk to Gary V, then I would DM him on Instagram. I'm sure he would have hundreds of DMs, but that would be a surefire way for me to get straight into his world there.
Yeah.
The customers that we're targeting probably don't have 100 DMs that are waiting for them.
No.
One, or like one of those crazy designers that want to do a cartoon or a zebra or this or that. So you've got a really good chance if you act like a human and you act in the way that you would act out in public here on social, then you can really build rapport. And once you build rapport, they trust you. And if your product is right for them at the right time, at the right place, then you can create some conversions.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Now, can you see the chat questions there?
I can. There was one more message I missed. How often do you initiate DMs? Can you give an example how you might initiate one? So, I mean, literally, we initiate DMs every single day. I'm just going to try and pull some up here. We do a lot of thanks for following me. Some people use really strange tactics, like they'll tag you in one of their posts, and I'm like, hey guys, you tagged me in a post. How come? Hey, tagging different home services helps boost recognition for both our pages and possibly get you featured. I know it doesn't. Some social media manager is obviously managing a bunch of businesses and keeps tagging me because we have a lot of followers, and they're hoping that passes on. It doesn't work like that. I'm like, hey, all good. Just curious of your tactics. Hey guys, do you guys sell small websites? Hey there, we have an amazing product called X and it's well priced, blah, blah, blah. Book yourself in here, go here. I send them straight to the lead page. Thanks for all the likes. Great work. Love that barbecue shot. Yep, it's a good one. 2 days later, hey, I'm not exactly sure like what you do. I'm a local landscaper. I work for myself. I'm looking to expand. I suck at lead gen. Hey, we help lead gen. That sounds good. Would love to get on board. Awesome. Just go here. Okay, perfect. So, hi, how you would to increase social media? Hi, how you work? She's like, do you manage accounts or copy paste? And I'm like, go away. You're another bot. So this is a direct DM. Great branding. I've just told someone that their brand looks really cool. Hey, thanks for the shout out. Oh my God. someone followed me the other day. We connected. They were a really cool trade app. So I shared them inside my stories and said, hey, everyone, go and follow these guys. I got on a sales call with this company yesterday, and they're now going to sign up for some consulting because they want to do their marketing better. But that came because I just had a conversation with them inside Instagram.
So one of the things that is really clear from what you've said, and again, this goes across all social media, is that when you're doing your lead generation, you really need to have the whole journey laid out. So here, go here, and you've got the prepared landing page. You've got a whole range of assets that are just ready for the right person. So you've got a range of products and services, and you can just go, hey, go here. Here's something I prepared earlier.
Here's something I prepared earlier. Exactly. So you want to just have that whole next conversation set out. So, you thank them for following you or interacting with you, or you tell them that their work looks cool, or that's a great book. Thanks so much. I'm going to read that too. That's that first conversation you had. Hey, what do you do? Actually, here's a really good example of what we do. And again, you don't want to do things again and again and again. You want to do it once. So if you're going to get asked, hey, what do you guys do? Then create a really good short video on YouTube for that. And then simply go, well, hey, you can watch this quick video and it's exactly what I do. And then you don't have to explain yourself again and again and again. It's just about tightening up your sales process. When someone says, hey, where do I start? That's perfect. If you just go here and fill this out and do this, they're just going to follow those next steps and fall into your sales sequence. So yes, I'm following a very strict sales process here, even though I'm talking on the cusp and I'm, trying to generate some conversation here, the same way that I would if I was networking. If I walked into a breakfast meeting at 6:30 this morning, I would have said, hey, I'm Steph and this is what I do. What do you do? And then they'll say something and I'll go, how's the weather? If it's a bit dry. But, it's those same techniques just on social. You wouldn't want to walk up to someone and go, hey, can I get on your podcast? I've got some really cool stuff to sell to your community. Someone's just going to go, ugh, go away. I don't even know who you are, and you're already asking me to be on my podcast. That's a bit narky. So, yeah.
So, Stephanie, I have a couple questions for you. As far as followers go, is it important to have a lot of followers? And it's a two-part question, basically. So we have Motorhead Digital that we do. We haven't posted recently, which we've been bad at. But when we post, we use certain hashtags for digital marketing strategy, things like that are in our niche and what we offer. But most of the people that follow us are other agencies. And it's like, don't really care. I want people that are targeting me follow us. So I'm struggling with how to explain what we do, but also to get them to interact and follow us as well.
Yeah. So the first answer, do the numbers really matter? There's actually, earthquake moment here. Instagram are threatening to take away the metrics on how many likes a post gets, which means influencers will die because they can't say, well, that post got 15,000 likes and that's why you should pay me $5,000. So the numbers aren't really important. Again, if you walked into a meeting room, a breakfast meeting room at 6:30 in the morning and you count the numbers and you're like, yes, there's 30 people in the room. Yeah, but how many really quality conversations have you had with those people? And maybe there's only 5 key people that you were meant to speak to in that room. So it's not about just getting like 10,000 followers and like, oh my God, I've made it. I've got 10,000 followers, or, deleting posts because you didn't get any comments on it. And that's embarrassing. Like, that's actually a thing. People do that. If there's no comments on a post, they then delete it. It's like, seriously, you've learned, keep it there and move on.
Right.
So the numbers is just a big vanity thing. If you've got a lot of other agencies that are following you, then I would say that your hashtag game might be a bit off or needs some tweaking, because obviously the agencies are trying to also connect with people that are using those hashtags, but you guys are the same kind of people. So you actually want to go deep and find people that are, you know, Motorhead, I'm pretty sure you're like in cars and that kind of thing, right?
Yes, yes.
So I'd want to find like a Porsche Club page, Instagram page, and I'd want to go through all the followers of that page and see the real people, and I'd go and connect with them if that was the niche person that I was going for. So if I was also if I was a Porsche mechanic and I was looking at a Porsche Club car Instagram page, I know that pretty much everyone that follows that Porsche Club car page possibly has a Porsche and possibly needs it restored in some way. And if I'm a Porsche restoration company, I should be going in there, looking at that channel, and looking at all the followers and connecting with all the followers of that page, because obviously they're following that page for a reason. So you might want to go in and try and find some pages that's where your ideal client is hanging out. And then you want to see, okay, so this is who they are. Let's go to their page. What sort of stuff do they post? Is it super high quality? Are they using hashtags? Are they tagging certain locations? And really try and see, like, this is a manual process because it's humans. It's hard to sort of doctor up. But there is a process you can put in place so that you can start to understand your customer a little bit better and try and get away from all those other agencies that are just kind of, doing the same sort of technique that you're obviously doing. Yeah. You want to go a bit deeper.
Cool. Thanks.
So it's always about the quality of the interaction, not the numbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always the quality and the genuineness.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be the most genuine account. You don't want to be some big selling machine.
So another question there is, oh my goodness, it's from me.
Cool.
Would love to hear the difference between a story and a post.
A story and a post. Okay, so if we go here. So these are Instagram stories, okay? So those are Instagram posts, and they sit in here inside the grid there. So they're all my posts. There's actually, see how on the far right there, the Australian Web Awards, there's that sort of glow around their icon.
Yep.
That there's a new story that's available to watch there. So you would, if you were looking at their profile, you could click that. If you were just hanging out on Instagram, I haven't actually got a screenshot of this. You see all the little circles at the very top. If only I could share my phone, I could show you.
I guess that's fine. Well, I think what I'm really interested in is knowing what should be a story and what should be a post.
Yeah, okay. So, so you want to post and keep your grid up to date, right? Yeah. And you want to work out if two posts inside your grid are good for you, or if 3 are good for you. Again, you must post twice a day. Your customers or your fans are going to really work with you and tell you. So for, the month of August, post twice a day inside your grid and fill that up. Did your analytics change, or did they disappear? Did your customers not like the fact that you doubled up on content and they prefer just one shot a day? Yeah. So it's really personal. If you are up in the stories, some people just spend a lot of time up in the story section and not so much in the grid section. So you want to make sure that when you post a new Instagram post, that then you maybe screenshot it and then you go into the story section and go, hey guys, new post, make sure you check out my grid. And that pulls anyone that's hanging out in the story section into the grid section. Yeah.
Okay. And the stories are used for, like, is it different type of content, or?
No,
it's just different. Is that what you're saying?
So,
it's just different, like a different location where you have the attention, but in terms of the content, it would be the same.
So your grid is solid and it stays there. It's concrete. It'll be there for life, right? A story only lasts 24 hours. So that's what I mean by when you post at 9 a.m. in the morning, a story, by 9 o'clock in the next day, it'll be gone unless you choose to save it as a highlight here. Yeah, I've just brought this slide back, that third screenshot there. Those were all stories that then expired, and then I chose to keep them in a highlights because they truly, you know, helped show exactly who I am. So like for me, I'm quite
that really explains it really well.
Sorry, come again?
I was going to say that explains that distinction really well.
Yeah, like for me, I'm quite like jovial. This morning in my Instagram stories, I shared that I was up early and on my way, and it's still dark out. But then inside my grid today, it's showing my dog and how he's looking at the lemons. So like the two don't particularly go together. It's kind of like the stories is like the up-to-date news following Steph Campanella around. And then my grid is kind of like, what do we do and what's going on? And those more calls to action. I wouldn't want to jump in my stories and go, hey, make sure you download my ebook because your profitable business is awaiting you. That seems really spammy. But there are nice ways of promoting that kind of content in your grid. So you don't want to come off too salesy.
Cool. So I'm imagining this to the office scenario, not that anyone's in an office these days, but the stories are more like the water cooler conversations.
Yeah, you could say.
And the grid is more down to business, but in an Insta kind of way.
Yeah, it's funny, like, when the Instagram stories got released, the grid was just ignored. But I find that I spend just as much time in the stories as I do in the grid. So again, it's really going to come down to your user base and looking at your data and seeing if if you post 6 stories in a day, does everyone carry through the whole way, or do you just get 10 people looking at the first one and then 5 people looking at the second one and then 1 person? So obviously that's too many. Again, it's just, you've really got to look at your data and you've got to stick to a strict regime and then change it up that next 30 days.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm trying to find
something just popped into my head. Like tactics, people do like this follow unfollow crap. Don't do that. So don't just follow people and then get them to know who you are and then unfollow them. That's really unfriendly. Again, think about this from a personal perspective. If you just walked in the room and then you shook someone's hand and then you never ever wanted to talk to them again, that would be really rude. So like LinkedIn, right? You would connect with people and then you would stay connected. You wouldn't just unconnected.
How rude. I can't believe people would do that.
But it's a tactic so that your Instagram grows, and you get really big numbers, but it's not about numbers. Numbers don't.
It's about connection. It's about connection.
Yeah, it's about connection. It's about quality connection.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are there any other questions, or does anyone else want to take the mic? I've made some notes here, so I'm just going to go through those to see if there's anything to further.
Hey, Stephanie, could you talk a little bit more about Instagram ads?
Ads? Yeah, sure. I mean, is there anything in particular? I mean, they're set up inside Facebook because Facebook is
right.
Instagram.
Yeah, we've done some tests, but not a lot. And what do you find works the best? More of giving information than salesy still?
Yeah. So
it does seem sponsored, so people know it's an ad.
Yeah, they know it's an ad. And no one likes being advertised to, right? So for me right now, we've got some still really advertising stuff that's being shared across Facebook and Instagram. I'm just opening up the account. I don't know I think it's the most expensive. So my most salesy post costs me $1.72 every time someone interacts. That's really expensive compared to a short video that is costing me 65 cents per entire playthrough. It's very natural. It's just me talking to the camera, no lights, no crap. It's just, hey, this is me. It's an ad, but it's not an ad because I'm being quite human. There's a video that's been played through 1,200 times, and it's costing me 17 cents per play view. That is a sales tool. It's a video that shows exactly what we do for our program. So there are 3 different types of ads that I've got. One very short, 30-second, quick, download my free PDF. It's behind me on the screen. It's like one of those sort of videos. One that's, be the local tradie hero, and it's very obvious it's an ad. That's my most expensive. I should be turning that off. And then, my entire 30-minute video sales tool is costing me 17 cents per playthrough. So the more human that you are, the more your ad is going to cut through, because social media is about being online and sharing your experiences with your friends. If all of a sudden you see, hey, I'm Barry, and I'm going to give you the best website, $1,200, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like that, they're just going to go, next. Whereas if you say, hey, are you a struggling motor mechanic and you're looking to generate some more cars in your workshop? Come take a look with me. Like that's a much more human experience there. So the more human you can be, the cheaper it'll be, and the more it'll cut through. So if you're just doing ads to get people to a landing page, then literally a selfie of you in the park with your dog is going to work better than a fully doctored up ad like that you would use for, say, Google remarketing. So Google remarketing ads are real, like it's like there's a button and there's the text and it's very addy. That would just not fly on social media.
Cool. Thank you.
So
good question.
You can see that one from Jack. Do you think shopping pins on products are good for retail Insta accounts? Shopify has made the process fairly simple, and Insta is now allowing more and more accounts to pin products.
So me personally, I don't spend a lot of time in the e-commerce world, so I haven't done anything of this manner. I'm also not a big shopper as a female. The way I shop through Instagram is actually the people that I follow, and then they say the product is really good, an influencer, I'll then go and look at the product. I don't typically look at like House and Garden and see like that's the throw and that's the table and that's the rug, and then I go and look at those options. I feel like I'm in a sales funnel and then I don't buy. But I'm not a shopper, so I might not be the best case experience for that. I think it's a very good tool, and I know there's ways that you can have that bio link connect to the Instagram store. Again, you just have to test it. It's hard for me to say because I haven't actually done that work myself specifically. I think the big thing is it should be human, and the more human the experience can be, the better.
And the more value. I'm just thinking of Gary V's, he's on about this all the time, and there's really 2 filters that it needs to pass. It either needs to be educational and useful or entertaining, and both of those things will engage people.
Yeah. So do you think shopping pins on products are good for retail Instagram accounts? Shopify has made this process fairly simple, and Instagram is now allowing more and more accounts to pin products. I mean, again, like if think about it from like an IKEA catalog, are you going to look through that entire IKEA catalog and then buy it? Or are you going to see a really nice photo of like that coffee cup and go, ooh, I need to get a coffee? Or am I going to see a coffee cup and a banana bread and, all the things and go, oh, I'm going to buy that whole thing. Where do I go and get that? Yeah.
It's also more powerful because what you end up seeing is a product in context with someone that you know. So that's just a winning formula, isn't it?
Someone that you trust. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not massive on influencers, but seeing people that you follow, they're really human. They're using a product. Then they go, oh, hey, by the way, you know, this is the most amazing water bottle. You should totally buy it. It keeps my water super cold, or my coffee super hot if I was putting coffee in it. I'd be like, oh, I need that. I might go and look at a shop that's got that. So
actually,
yeah.
I was thinking not even like an official influencer, but even a friend, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, they've got blah, and you're seeing something in context.
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah, very cool.
Yeah. I think there's another question here. What do you think of companies using Instagram versus individuals? Can companies be? Yeah, absolutely. So companies can be just as successful as individuals. Like I've shared with you a lot of my individual posts, but my where all the sales are generating, that's a company. But we just share, you know, bits of the CEO and how it's a real person and why she got into the business and, you know, all the things that make her tick. And then we also share like, hey, 10 SEO tactics, or, you know, here's a really quick way to get online. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a big thing about like Tesla and Elon Musk, and how every entrepreneur wants a Tesla because they believe that Elon Musk is the best entrepreneur and he's behind Tesla. And that's a great company because they trust Elon Musk. So there's always someone behind a company, and you don't want to just be the company. You want to put an individual in place. There was always, you know, when you're marketing, say, a bank, it's very hard to market a bank because they take your money and then they charge you for holding it, even though they're putting interest and they're making a lot of money from being a bank. So quite often banks or insurance companies will develop a little character that you then fall in love with, and that helps you fall in love with the bank. So it's the same thing as an individual sitting behind the sort of CEO role. It's sometimes very stiff to market a brand, so you want to put an individual behind it.
So, Stephanie, with that said, for example, I have my personal Instagram page with my photo on it, and I have another one that is just about my photography, right? So there's a picture of me, but I also have my business one for Motorhead Digital, which has my logo on it. So I guess, you know, Motorhead Digital is me and my team. Do you recommend getting rid of that logo and putting my face out there then? So to make it more personal?
I would actually do both. Like I would keep that Motorhead Digital there, and I would be you over there, and I would connect the two. Like, you know, here's a great repost from Barry, our CEO's Instagram, and he's really into photography and, you know, photos of cars, and that's why he got into this whole Motorhead Digital piece, because that would then really share your personality and your uniqueness. And again, that's why people buy from you. They don't buy because, I mean, sometimes people buy because it's the cheapest thing on the block. But good quality clients buy because there's some rapport and trust, and there's some things that resonate between the two of you. So again, showing your human side inside your company would be good.
Cool.
Yeah.
What awesome content, Stephanie. Are there
Cool.
any more questions while we have her?
Hold on to me.
Yes, I know. Here is your chance.
Yeah, we pretty much have 20 minutes left. So ask away. I'm trying to think of more stuff, but.
I'm just looking at my notes here. I like the less is more, because again, that makes it more achievable, but the fact that you start putting out thoughtful and quality content.
Yeah. I'm laughing at Joe Wellborn's comment about how his son got 10K followers for posting cat memes. I mean, there is certainly an audience for that inside Instagram, but seriously, like whenever I work with other people in the trade niche, and they're like, "No, we don't use social media because they don't hang out there." I'm like, "Well, I pretty much generate a sale a day on Instagram, so good on you for not spending any time in there." So yeah, a little while ago, I tested the platform and it was working. So we kept spending time in it, and it's still working. So yeah, there are people hibernating inside Instagram, and they are looking. So you've just got to turn up and have really good content and not selly crap, and then they will connect with you.
Stephanie, yeah, you know, I know we focus on performance and restoration shops, and that's where they are. They're posting stuff they're doing all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm still trying to figure out how to get in front of them. Still
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. I can say, I'm sure it was interesting. The most interaction we got on anything we posted was a video I shared from Dukes of Hazzard, I think.
Yeah, right. Really good content.
Or a car that was crashed around a tree. You know.
Yeah, right. Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. No, you'd want to showcase, you know, car of the week, or, you know, V12 sounds roaring. Yeah.
What about topics that are a little bit more, I guess, serious? So I've got a client that does mental health first aid training. Sorry?
I said cars are serious business.
Oh.
first aid training.
Yeah. Sorry, mental health first aid training.
Oh, mental health.
Yeah. So you, for example, they've come up with, say, 13 myths and hints and tips, for example. Is that the kind of thing that could work on Insta as well?
Yeah, totally.
Or does it feel, I don't know, too heavy?
Let me tell you a story. There's a really good, I'm not really a big drinker, and all my friends are massive drinkers. But there's an app called, I think, like Happy Sunday Morning or something. And it's an app that tries to share with you that you should not be getting wasted on Saturday night, because Sunday morning, it's called Hello Sunday Morning, because Sunday morning can be disastrous for those who had a big bender on a Saturday. So that mental, you know, wellness, low alcohol app is trying to share with people that just have one drink on Saturday night so that you can be happy and be a fully functioning adult on Sundays. It's a really good following, and they've got some really good messaging, and it sort of just trips on that mental health piece, you know, focusing on addiction and all this kind of stuff, and then also alcohol is the tool there. It's the motor. So that, again, yeah, there's definitely, you know, again, I'm a big gym buff. I follow so many people that are working out and eating well and doing all this stuff, because in the morning, this is actually, if I jump into Facebook first thing in the morning and I see everyone whinging about it's Monday and I don't want to go to work, I probably won't get to the gym. But if I jump into my Instagram first, I'll see everyone that's like motivated and working out and doing a leg press or something. And I'll be like, I am going to the gym. I'm putting myself first today, and I will go to the gym at 7, and then I will get to work at 9. And it is, I am taking care of my health before I do anything else in my business life. So, yeah, there's this. Yeah.
And that would go on your personal one, which then gets shared on your business one?
I would totally take a gym selfie in the lift. I'd be like, outfit of the day. Look how my shirt matches.
I reckon I've seen some of those.
You probably have, yeah. I share a lot of food, a lot of gym workouts, and my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I have healthcare insurance clients. I'm wondering how they would use Instagram. Yeah. Insurance is like, that's a tough gig, selling insurance. So you've really got to make it personal. You've really got to connect with the user. I'm thinking of a colleague that is in insurance for women, and she's just always flogging if you sign up now, 12 months, save your business. It's like, that's again, like, it's like they're selling the thing you do, not the benefit. Talking about the feature all the time. So insurance is the feature, but what's the benefit of having insurance? And if you can understand the messaging of that, that's the thing that you want to share. You don't want to share that your policy needs a renewal. You know, when's the last time you renewed your policy? That's very unengaging.
Actually, a really good one for insurance, because we've got this, is to use the entertainment angle. like, for example, have a whole campaign saying what could possibly go wrong, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like there's all these things that go wrong. We've got this ad here in Australia. It's actually not a what could go wrong, but it's a Specsavers ad, which is for glasses, and it's got these hilarious ads on television of what someone is doing because they can't see clearly. Can you think of a specific example, Steph? Because I've gone completely blank, but they're just really funny.
I have my glasses.
Yeah. Oh, so it's for example, one of them is someone like an older person walking into a gym or yoga class or a dance class or something like that, and they're just joining in just because they can't see what they're doing. They just like there's a series of disasters that people walk into because they can't, and they go, oh, if only you could, if only you had Specsavers.
If only you could, Specsavers will save you from walking into that gymnasium full of 20-year-olds jumping around that you should not be a part of.
Exactly. So I reckon entertainment would cut through a lot in the like something funny would cut through a lot in that industry.
And that's those core principles like trust and rapport building and fun, and that all helps engagement. So yes, that would be a very good principle to start on if you've got a really boring, stiff product. Yes.
Were you saying something? I saw your microphone's off, Joe.
I was just saying thanks. That was a good answer. It's personalizing it. I suppose to some extent it's the same thing as advertising. Like the more corporate and aloof they seem, probably the less they're going to engage, whether it's advertising or Instagram, I would think. I don't participate that much in Instagram so far, but I'm thinking of a company that does a great job, at least in Twitter. I don't know if there's similarities, but I don't know if you've ever looked at Wendy's, but Wendy's, it's a hamburger chain in the United States. I don't know if they have it in Australia.
It's an ice cream chain over
here. It's an ice cream chain. It's pink.
Wendy's is an ice cream chain? Okay.
They sell hot dogs.
Oh, do they really? Okay. Well, here, at least on Twitter, they're hysterical. They poke fun of McDonald's as if it's a schoolyard, friend or adversary, right. And they're just they make a hamburger chain just seem like it's somebody that you know. So I don't know if that's applicable to Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, it's a marketing tactic that they're using there. They're trying to seem like the McDonald's is the kid you don't want to hang out with in the playground there. You want to come over to Wendy's where everything's shiny and cool and
music's funny. They make it funny. I mean, you want to tune into what is Wendy's saying today. So anyway, just thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a vet, I would definitely be posting funny cat memes and stuff because obviously I'm a vet. I take care of cats. What do cat people love? Talking about their cat. So, I mean, that's the easiest way to connect with your customer, and it would be hilarious and they'd actually want to tune in. They wouldn't want to tune into a $25 injection. It's like, ooh, I don't want to remind myself that my cat needs an injection, but I do want to remind myself that cats are hilarious. So, yeah, entertain.
Okay. Are there any more questions? Because Stephanie has been extremely generous with her time. Awesome content. And I think we are all feeling that much more inspired to take another look at Insta and start using it.
Cool. Awesome. My job is done.
Your work here is done. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me again. I really
appreciate it.
Yeah. Awesome. I love sharing what I know.
And we shall put the video up for those who were not able to make it or are in a crazy time zone. Well, no one's time zone is crazy. It's all relative.
It's all relative.
Everything is relative.
1 o'clock somewhere.
Just before we go, Barry, did you want to tell us a teaser for next session?
Yeah. Stephanie, stop sharing real quick.
Yep. Boom. And stop share. Boom. There we go. Woo. How's that?
Good. We're seeing you now. Barry's going to talk.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Next Agency Tribe is on the 22nd. Same bat time, same bat channel. We are having Tracy O'Shaughnessy. Tracy, if I said that wrong, I apologize. Tracy's going to be talking about branding. She is a genius when it comes to branding. So keep an eye out for in the group as far as what we're going to put up 3 topics to select from. So should be a good session.
Cool.
Thanks again, Stephanie. It's been awesome. Learned a lot today.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Well, as always,
right.
Any questions that didn't get answered, I'm super accessible. So find me online and ask me.
Okay. We might just do that. Thanks, Steph. Over and out, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.